Is going on, everybody? How's it going, Discord community? Welcome back to episode 4 of Behind the Bench. I'm your host, your fearless leader, I guess, Neil, or as many of you have come to know me as Irish Flyers Collector here on Discord and over on Instagram and eBay and every other format that we have here in the hobby that I get into. That's been the moniker that I've been going by. So, welcome back. Thanks for stopping in and watching this episode. I appreciate your guys' support and just watching the show each week. It really means a lot to me. Not much going on here on my end. Usual weekend type stuff this past weekend. It was a good week in general. Had some good cards come in over the course of the week. Have more coming. But I've been most excited. I'm most excited about some stuff I have coming from Slab Sharks. I've been on a bit of a heater with them the last few weeks. It seems to have like somebody's unloading some stuff that I really want. So I've been frequenting their site every single week. I'm in their auction actively on stuff like every week for like the last month, so something like that. So then there's been like 4 to 6 cards or sometimes more every week that I'm really, really interested in. So it's been exciting for me with that. On the home front, it's been good. Had landscapers here this week, a little later than I usually like. But that was due to me not getting my deposit in soon enough. But they're finally here. House got some fresh mulch, spring cleanup stuff, trees and shrubs were trimmed. So everything looking spiffy out front of the old Irish Flyers collector homestead. So and the best part is I didn't have to lift a finger. So I don't do the manual labor when it comes to the yard work. I leave that to the experts. So I do mow. I'll say that I mow the yard every single week. So I do my part. I have a 17-year-old son and a 20-year-old daughter, and they used to help me mow back, but ever since they had their licenses and jobs, now it's dear old dad that is left doing the lawn himself. So, oh well, not a biggie. But so let's see what else is new. Hobby wise, it's been about a week or so since the cup was released, and heck, it's been a week and a half, just a week and a half since Extended came out too. So it's been quite the barrage of card releases recently in the last week or so. Feels like almost too much, but it's better than the alternative that I think most of us have been around for a bit. We remember the alternative of nothing coming out or really, really long time taking for sets to come out and how far behind. I mean, I think it's not too long ago that it seems like it's not too long that I can remember Josh and Troy back then talking about how far behind the sets were that Upper Deck was. And, they got that lull from the COVID shutdown. So I guess we're all kind of paying for it now. This was coming, right? This was coming. It feels like drinking from a fire hose at times, but like I said, it's a necessary part of the process. To have all this stuff come out and get caught up. But yeah, this barrage since O-Pee-Chee paper came out, it feels just like there's so much coming out, a lot, like one after the other, maybe even SPX, SP Game Used, metal Skybox, Metal Universe, and then Extended and the Cup. So nobody can complain that there's no options out there. That's for darn sure. So it feels thinking about all that, and most of those were all 2024 25 products except for the Cup. So it feels like Upper Deck is caught up by now. I mean, not much. I mean, I know that this release of the Cup is 2023-24, and that just came out. But I believe Billy was saying that the next one, 24-25, is going to be kind of a closer gap than this past one. So don't quote me on that though. I just feel like I kind of remember that. I remember him saying the gap from the last one. I feel like the last cup. Maybe he'll talk about it, but maybe I could be wrong. But I know that Cup 22-23, if memory serves me, was released in September of 2024. So here we are in June. That's what, 5, 6, 9. That's 9 months since the last cup. So, excuse me, a little better than shorter than a year, which is good. Better than a year. So if they're going to be hoping to close that gap a little bit, maybe we'll see 24, 25, maybe in 6 months, 8 months. So that puts us 6 months, December, 8 months, February. So maybe we'll see, fingers crossed. But regardless, if you're into the cup and you were into the 23-24 product, I hope you're finding success. Getting those hits that you want. It's a bit too out of my price range for what I'm willing to spend on a box or a tin per se for 5 cards, 6 cards, 5 cards. So, but I definitely dabble in the product absolutely on the secondary market. So I find for me personally, that's the best way for me to go about getting my wants and filling my needs and my checklist items. So that's how I handle the cup. I'm just waiting for the secondary product. So, so yeah, hope everybody's having success with the cup. I'm sure people are still hitting extended. I managed to hit for myself. I managed to grab some Mitch coughs the last week or so, but that's always fun. I didn't get the Young Guns canvas, not yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Probably wait for that one because it's way too high. It always is when it first comes out, and then it always settles in. I mean, right now it's higher than his regular Young Guns, and it should settle down back to where it should be. But we'll see. If maybe the FOMO will get me, who knows? But if I keep my wits, go back to take my own advice. Maybe I'll go back and watch last week's episode and try to reinvigorate or not invigorate, reinforce my own values into myself. So, but speaking of which, I hope you were able to watch actually last week's episode talking about my little hobby mental health check. It is an area that I know I think about from time to time and have to remind myself every so often so I don't lose myself in the hobby, lose sight of why I'm in it and what I'm after. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please take an hour or so of your time. I think it's worthwhile. I think it's a good message. So episode 3, you can find it posted here on the Discord in the Behind the Bench channel. So if you haven't checked it out, give it a watch. That's one that it's one of my passion projects, I guess, as far as how that tells you a little bit about me and how I like to try to remind myself how to manage the hobby. So, so let's get into it for this week. Let's get into a little fun. This is a bit of a pet project for me. It's more of an idea that I started back when I first got back into the hobby. It's one that I had when I learned and heard and talked to people and started talking to other collectors in the hockey market, that something that many of us all that we all have, that we're all sitting on tons of cards that we don't need or want. It's all the throwaway stuff, the toss to the side. Maybe some have more than others. Maybe some of you do a better job of not keeping the clutter. I don't know. I do. I do. I keep it. Maybe you don't have, and maybe you don't keep the base. Maybe you don't keep the meaningless, $1 to $3, $2 inserts. I do. I haven't been able to bring myself to get rid of it. I'm the type of person, I just can't seem to throw away cards because it's not how I was brought into the hobby. But maybe maybe I'm a step away from a hoarder. I don't know. Maybe I'll be on another show someday. But I think I'm not alone. I think others are guilty of it as well. But I think it's not just me. So, but it's funny. even before I was just in the infancy of talking with Josh about doing these episodes here on Discord. And I was basically accumulating ideas. This was one of the first ones that I thought of in terms of discussing with people. Um, and then, ironically, they had on Mark Hill from My Card Post, and he was talking about what to do with all those base cards. And he was, going through all these ideas that he had, and he's breaking the products down into soaking it and making it into mash and all this fun stuff and trying to figure out what to do with the cards. And I just felt like, listen to that episode, I felt like I was a little kid in class, like raising my hand, like me, pick me, waving my hand, frantically trying to get the teacher's attention to give an answer. Like, I have an idea, I've thought of this. So but enough beating around the bush for another time. So the idea that I had was, so I guess this will depend on how you sort and store your cards, right? So obviously, for your good stuff, I'm not talking about your good stuff. I'm just talking about the stuff that you don't really have an interest in. Your good stuff is always in top loaders or one touch and or slabs, obviously. But um, the idea that I have, so if you have boxes, and the reason why you see me kind of glancing to my right, and I'm going to tell you guys this right off the bat here, I must really love you guys because I lugged all this crap up from my basement down from the basement, 2 floors up, 2 flights of stairs into the guest room here with me, my little quasi studio. I lugged up all these boxes to to share this and kind of set it up and show you guys. It wasn't easy. It was probably about 4 trips. I didn't want to kill myself, but lugging this stuff up reminded me. I was like, we have this is a perfect example of why you keeping this stuff again. But I don't know. Maybe this will inspire people. So, but the idea that I have, it's a pretty simple one, and I guess I've coined the phrase of calling it a team lot trading club or like a trading group or something like that. Like, I know there's groups that are out there where certain members are um, assigned teams or something like that, right? And that's pretty much what this is about. So the first rule of Team Lot Trading Club is you don't talk about Team Lot Trading Club. And the second rule, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, so the concept's pretty simple. You know, I'm pretty much feel I'm not alone. So, like, how many of you are sitting there and you have boxes in your basement or in your house or in a closet of cards, all maybe they're organized, maybe they're not. But cards that you don't know what to do with, but you can't bring yourself to throw them away, right? I think I've said that. So, the concept is kind of simple and it just helps you clear out of cards of teams you don't want. And in return, you get back cards of your favorite team, but they're that type of same value, right? They are base cards. They are lower end inserts. I mean, obviously inserts are hot when they first come out, but once the market settles, they usually go back down to a buck or two. I mean, think about those welcome aboard cards and all the other inserts, the all the gaming ones that were out, so you know they're hot and heavy for the first couple weeks, but after that, they really level off and kind of they dive down, hit a flat line, and then they're usually just lower end. So, but the idea is, it's like I said, it's all groups consisted of people, members, friends that all get kind of assigned their favorite team, right? And then you basically would trade lots of cards, and I mean not lot as in a good number of them, but lot as in team lots. That's why I'm using that phrase. So you'd take a lot of a team and you would trade them to another club member that's assigned their team, and all you have to do is really kind of agree upon like the same approximate number of cards to trade. It's I don't know it's pretty simple. I mean, to give you an example, obviously I'm a Flyers fan. I think everybody's gathered that. Um, And if I were to use like the guys on the show as an example, so for example, in this scenario, we'll make Louis our Devils fan, Phil's our Senators fan, we'll make Josh the Wild fan, Dave is the Kings fan. So everybody's assigned those fans, those teams, right? And then from there, let's say in a message or whatever, Louis tells me that he's like, hey Neil, I got 335 Flyers cards. Um, so he's like, what do you got? So I go to my box and I go to look and I'm like, hey, I have that same number of Devils cards. Sure, and I'll trade, and I ship to him and he ships to me. That's it. Nothing else. No money needs to be exchanged, because honestly, it's not about that level of stuff. It's about the like I said, you can't get caught up in that stuff. Same thing with you got Josh, and I'm like, all right, Josh has 150 Flyers cards. He'll send me, and I give him 150 wild cards, or maybe I got 160, and I'm like, I don't want to keep 10 here, so keep the extras. Same thing with Phil and Dave, and so on. Like it's pretty simple. It should be, and the concept that I have with that idea is, again, it really needs to be simple and easy and friendly, right? You can't get complex into it. You can't get into the weeds. No, don't make it difficult by like asking for specific cards, or show me what you have, and then I can pick what I want. And then if somebody's only trading like 10 cards, 15 cards, this isn't about those types of trades. That's different. That's the more common trading type. So, you know, in the interest of uh I guess maybe somebody doesn't have nearly as much as you, so maybe they can share their preferred players, or somebody might be into a specific era of cards. Like I'm into 90s, I'm into 80s, I'm into modern, I'm into I don't care, I want anything. But outside of those, kind of basic points, outside of those, you're really just focusing on swapping similar quantities, and that's about it. It's the concept is meant to be simple. It's meant to, you know, get rid of the clutter from your house, and essentially you're giving it to somebody else. But once it's in their hands, it's not clutter anymore. It's kind of like appreciated again. Like these cards kind of now get philosophical, like these cards should be, right? Um, maybe because I'm old school from the 80s collecting peak junk wax, maybe I'm foolish and maybe I'm not. I don't know. I just think that, putting these cards in somebody, I think that's why I can't bring myself to throw them away, to be quite honest. You know, I feel like these should be long in somebody else's possession. And I'm not going to meet 35 other people, 36, whatever. I forget how many teams there are now in these boxes, but um, I'm not going to meet these people just, in my day to day life here locally. So you kind of have to go and spread that, cast a wider net, so to speak. So, I think that's the way that part of me is. Part of me can't bring myself to getting rid of them, and trashing them, because I'd never trashed cards from when I was growing up. And I feel like it's my duty to get these to somebody else's hands, get them into their possession, because I'll tell you what, like I love it. Like I don't care. I've done probably maybe a dozen trades like this in the past, maybe less. But because if you go really far back on my Instagram, you'll see me posting stacks of lots. And now the stacks weren't that great. They were, maybe 200, 300 cards. And yeah, you might think that's a lot. And it is. It is. It's nothing to sneeze at. Um, but now I did acquire somebody's, collection. I think I acquired like not collection, but two boxes, two of those four row boxes, the 3,500 count. They gave me just 2 boxes. They were like, "Yeah, I want to get rid of them." And I was kind of like, "Okay," and I acquired them. So the quantities have changed, and even teams that I've completely unloaded in the past, I've all of a sudden have seemed to build back up again. So, like, I'm looking at one I can see right now, like Detroit Red Wings a while back. I traded the whole thing to another collector, and yeah, I got another row. It's almost a full straight row of Red Wings again. So it happens. I got some stuff back. So, but yeah, I think the philosophical side of me, or I don't know, the, the perfect the gumdrops and rainbows and unicorn farts. That part of me is like, I just can't bring myself to getting rid of them. So I just feel like I need to do my part to get these into somebody's hands that will, you know, appreciate them. And then the nice part is, once you make that trade, you make a connection, you're making a hobby pal, a friend, and then they get them, and that's the cool thing. I'll tell you what, it was really cool getting back Flyers cards, old stuff, right? And it didn't matter what it was. Some of it, and you don't care about doubles. That's the other key too. You don't care about doubles. If you get doubles, tough, right? Like, that's not what the point is. You don't say, "Oh, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this." It's really just about the quantity of the cards. So if you get doubles, so be it. You just stick them together. Like, it got me to actually go and sort and organize my Flyers cards, all the other ones, and I literally just went old school and just stuck them all in binders. And then I had to buy another binder. Then I had to buy another binder. And then I think I'm up to 10 binders with Flyers cards in them. And this isn't for my own. This is not an idea for my own selfish reasons. This is an idea for helping solve a hobby problem or a hobby issue, I think. So it's I think it creates connections. I think it will you know help us all kind of declutter. I don't know. I happen to think that it it's a concept that could work. So, but I will say this: the concept goes a heck of a lot easier now. Now we'll discuss, I guess, um, how do you sort and how you store your cards. Um, you know, because if you can get them sorted and organized, I know that's a topic that has been discussed a few times before. Um, I'm just trying to look to see if I made note of where I put that on. I don't remember if I made a comment of that. I know I've heard um, on the show, on the Gong Show, some mailbag questions where people ask that question, like, how do you store your cards? How do you keep checklists and whatnot? So obviously, my other stuff that I collect for myself, I keep a checklist. Um, this mess over here, and it's not even a mess; it's a pretty mess. I'll tell you that much, and you'll see. I'll show you in a second. It's organized by team, and I have a little bit of OCD, and all the teams have been sorted alphabetically by player. So if I ever do need to go find a player for whatever reason, not for this reason, but for other reasons, I can go find the players pretty easily. So a little bit of OCD takes some time. I will say that's probably the one thing that might be the challenge for most people is putting the time in, putting the work in, especially depending on how much you have. So now this might not work so well if you don't sort your cards by team. If you don't sort your cards by team, if you sort it by player, then we're a little. Then you might not have as easy of a time. I just think that most people, when it comes to this stuff, these types of cards that you don't care much about, um, I just feel that you have them sorted by teams, probably, if you have them sorted. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have them sorted at all. So, like I said, it might take some time. Um, that that will definitely make your job a whole heck of a lot easier if you wanted to be doing and participating in something like this. Um, Part of me thinks too this will be a really, really cool idea um, at the expo. I don't know. you know, then you're there with lots of collectors, and it can happen pretty quickly. You can meet people in person. You can both save on shipping. You can just put them in the long, the long white BCW boxes. Maybe some will be smaller, like the 100 or the 200 or 300 size boxes. You just write the person's name on it. Hey, I'm going to be in the show. You text, you exchange, you DM, you whatever, and bada bing, bada boom. You're leaving the expo with some cards for free. You bring them home, and then guess what? All those boxes that you have that were of all the teams that you didn't want or you don't want, now they're teams that you want. Right now, it's your favorite team, and it might be, like I said, base inserts, low end inserts, but at least it's your favorite team, and then that way you have something. It's not clutter anymore, then it's not worthless. So that's kind of the idea. um you know like I said, I've heard the question asked. It's something I kind of thought of. I've This has worked. um the reason why I'll say why I've kind of fallen off on it was I found that it took too much effort to get into the process of doing it. I might go back, because I did stop on my Instagram. Uh, was that last year in the playoffs? I feel like it was last year in the playoffs or the year before. Maybe it was. I don't know. It was one of the 2 years in the playoffs. I stopped because I think I got all the way up to. I was posting team lot, and I went alphabetically, because again, a little bit of OCD. I have it in my highlights in my Instagram profile. So if you go to my profile, those circular highlights where you can store your stories. If you go in there, you're going to see like a for trade one, and if you scroll through that, you're going to see the pictures that I did. And if you do that, the piles have only grown since then. So I stopped because I had to reorganize and get everything back together again. Luckily, I'm at that point where I'm back. I have everything finally looking good again. Everything's sorted in again. I integrated all the stuff that I acquired. So I just haven't gone back to. What I would do is I'd take all the pictures, I'd take the cards out, and I would lay them on my kitchen table in kind of messy but organized piles. I'd kind of spread out like the piles by player, and so you can kind of see some cards peeking out. Like, oh, you can see some old score in there, and you can see some old pro set and tops. But and it's just all piled A, B, C. You go all the way through it, all the different players, and lay them out. I'd take a good big overhead shot. Sometimes I'm in my kitchen standing up on a chair, taking an overhead shot so people could at least see the bundle of cards that I was trying to offer in a team lot trade. And so I was doing that. So I got some bites on my Instagram posts. And then I was more actively doing it in Facebook groups. And that was, again, a little bit of an effort because sometimes you couldn't get people out of the whole mentality of, well, these are the players that I want, and I'm like, no, that's not what this is about. Sorry, and they're like, well, hang on, what are you looking at? So, um, excuse me. So this is kind of the concept. I'm going to show you now what I've got here, and that way you can kind of see this beautiful mess and kind of see if it will maybe inspire you to do something. And if this is something you're interested in, we'll talk about it. So let me see. Oh, this is going to be dangerous here. I'm going to take the camera, and I apologize. We're going to go over to my bed over here, the guest room bed. But so this is what I have, and you can see them all sorted by team. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 boxes. And if you look, I apologize, it's shaky. So I have them all sorted by teams. So you've got, Anaheim Ducks, Coyotes, Bruins. So everybody's in here. And those are all sorted alphabetically. Buffalo. So it takes some effort and it takes some time to get this done and to get them sorted and organized like this. I'm trying to get myself some more slack here. Sorry. Um, so it takes some time to do this. There's Columbus. There's Columbus. So, if you do this, I look. I even have old cards too. Here we go. Hartford. Right. There's Hartford. Got the old Whalers. So old Whalers cards. So again, you can see that this stuff's kind of like nothing. Ray Ferraro card. Now I will say I do have. The only thing I did do. Who has something here? Let's see. Edmonton. Now I did take some inserts and put them in penny sleeves. Of some of the cards. I didn't do that one, but some of them have inserts in the front of them because they're worthwhile. And there's Trocheck, Florida, an old canvas, but maybe they don't know. Maybe that newer one does. Portraits. So you can put I'm talking over this way. I hope my sound's been okay the whole time. Sorry about that. You can put the inserts in the penny sleeves. We'll go through that. And if we go this way, sorry, I'm going to try to bring the mic with me this time. So hopefully this is going to be not too bad. So you've got the, Islanders, the Devils, Rangers, Senators, everything here, even go back to Quebec. So, you get the teams all sorted, right? And you can kind of go through and kind of see a way to organize Capitals, Vegas, Vancouver. And then in the back there, I've got my Young Guns, which are just the no-name guys, but the Young Guns. I even got a checklist section and then international players section too. So that's kind of my mess that I have sorted. All right, let me go back to here. I hope this is not sounding too horrible for you guys. I apologize if it is, but let me reset up again. So that's that. It's a pretty cool idea that I think can work. It just needs to see if people will do it. It's really kind of a labor of love, so to speak, where you get these cards. Now I will say that slow it down here. Let me get back, set back up again. So labor of love. The only thing that's not available out there is that orange case, my O-Pee-Chee case. That is not a let me get this settled here. Let the camera get settled. I'm still out of focus, but so yeah, let me lean back, get refocused again. And there we go. There we go. Perfect. So there you have it. That's what that looks like. I will share a few things with you guys. Let me pull this up here. Pull this here. All right. Before I get into the labels, 2 tips. If you were to do this, okay. If you were to do something like this and want to get things sorted like that, your hobby coach is going to help you. I'm going to help you. If you want to do this, I think it's at least a cool way to at least get your crap sorted. You just have to put time into it. So, if you have that rainy weekend day and whatever, and you want to sort cards, you got nothing new that you've got going on. You've got nothing new to sort on your stuff. This is a cool off-season project. I'll be honest. Obviously, we like to do a lot of fun stuff during the summer, but sometimes this is stuff I was doing late at night. Just set up at the kitchen table. I'd have two of these boxes on the table. So the labels that you saw, the dividers, what you didn't see is behind each one of them. Let me show you here. Behind each book, because these are those, again, these cards are just stored kind of raw, naked, no penny sleeves except for some of the inserts, right? So this is just a UD portraits of McKinnon. So that one's in a penny sleeve, and I put them in the front. I usually put those in the front. Everything else is alphabetical. But what you saw were these inserts, right? Dividers. But what you didn't see, because these are those BCW 3500 boxes, these dividers are taller, and I went with these taller ones so they stick up over the cards and they kind of look cool, like you guys saw there. But what you didn't see is behind it is this one. It's a smaller one. I originally bought these, and I just hand wrote on them. I originally bought these, and they were just barely taller than the cards, and then it was kind of pointless. I was like, well, man, now I'm still digging through. It didn't look nice, and so my OCD got the best of me. So I'm gonna show you. So right here's a Nathan McKinnon card, right next to it, and it was barely taller than it. Right, let me put it behind it. So it's barely taller than it. So you really couldn't see what when they were in there. So I went and found these ones, these bigger ones, the taller ones. So this is just a tall. This is a another BCW product, a trading card divider. This is a tall trading card divider. So let me put Mr. McKinnon back in his box. So that's what I have. So when I store it, I pull these out, but these stay in, right? So these stay in place. And then when I open the box, take the lid off, and I sort it out. Like even if you're a dealer at a show, and you have your cards sorted by teams, which please, if you deal and sell cards at card shows, please take the time to do something like this. You don't have to alphabetize them, but put them in this order. Just sort them by teams. I'll help you out because I'm going to give you the labels. I'm going to give you the Word document. I got it. I did all the work for you, and I realize now I got to update it. I have to add Utah and put them in there. So, but yeah. So, and I have some other options on there, but I'll show you that file as well. So, these are the two dividers. So this one always stays in the box. So when I put the lid on it, it can stay. All the cards stay divided. Then I just kind of slip these out of the front and lay these on top of the box. Put the lid on. Bing, bang, boom. Done. Put it back on the shelf. When I bring it out, take the lid off. Want to make it look pretty, I just put this, slip it right in front of this one, and that's that. Then you're good to go. You don't have to take these out and do whatever. You just slip this right in front of it. Goes back in the box. Looks nice and neat. I pulled them all out, spread these out, made them look all pretty for you guys to show everything. So these are the dividers. So this was the first one I got, trading card divider. And then this is the other one, the tall trading card divider. So they're pretty cheap, $7, something like that. I don't remember the prices. You can find them probably at your LCS. But both of these, they both come with 10. So worst case scenario is you're going to have to buy 4 of each, probably. Maybe more, 5 just to have extras. Because I actually use these too, the tall trading card, the regular trading card dividers in my boxes of my PC to separate the years, because that is all my players. But you could do the same thing with your PC, right? If you haven't done these, maybe some of you are already dabbling in these. I don't know. But yeah, tall and regular size trading card dividers. The tall ones look really cool, especially when you have nice colored labels. I remember seeing. I think I finally did this and did these labels when I went to my first expo in 22, November 22, maybe. Maybe it was November 23. Yeah, it was November 23. I went to my first expo and I saw some sellers have their tables set up like this with these cards, and I was like, thank the Lord, because it makes it easy. And then I could just stand at the table, go through their cards and have at it, pulling cards out left and right. Got plenty of stuff to done. So this will help you at home. So let me do this. Let me show you. That's there. Let me go into present mode. What do I got to do here? I want to share this. Let's see if this works. Let me go back and check just to make sure. Yay, you're all seeing this. So yeah, I created this file. I'm probably going to tweak it because I want to spread this out. So right now, I created this file when based off of the labels that I happen to already have here at my house. So I even have Atlanta Thrashers. I don't have any Atlanta Thrashers cards, but I still created them. Um, so I created this. I have these labels at my house. There's, I created a cool little Young Guns one, an international one for checklists because there are checklist collectors. I know these are not in alphabetical order. Sorry about that. But so I created this file so you don't have to, or nobody else has to. So if this is something that interests you, oh, here's the other cool thing. I use both logos for some of the older teams that have old logos. Let me see here. Let me see here. Do I have somebody else? Who was the other ones? I know it was more. I thought it was more than the Jets. I should put the new Kings or the old Kings logo, but I thought I did with other teams more than just the Jets, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Huh. Oh, Vancouver. There we go. The Vancouver Canucks got them with their two logos. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much those. I was going somewhere before I got sidetracked on logos, and I apologize. Well, I'll watch it back and think of it. But so I'm going to add this stuff. I will probably change the format to where it actually fits different labels. Sorry, I'm going back there. And what I do is it's pretty simple. I just have it in these. This is my Avery labels. I happen to have these for some other stuff. So this is why it was sorted into 2 on each page. I was looking, and I had some of these old ones, and this is actually 3 sheets, 3 sheets, 3 labels on each sheet, and this almost fits perfectly. This style label fits these almost perfectly versus having to cut up the other ones. So I think I'm going to change the format onto this because this sheet has 30 labels per sheet, so I can have all of them, and it just might be going through 2 sheets of these when I print them out versus others. So that'll probably be my new little side pet project on the side, is to reorganize my labels into another format. So yeah, that's the idea. It can be used in this format. It can be used in player iteration. Like if you were to, um, get these tabs and dividers, and you want to just organize them by players, you can do that. But yeah, if you go to shows and set up, this is my plea, I guess. If you go to a show and you set up cards and you sell cards and you have those, these boxes, the penny boxes, dollar boxes, whatever you want to call it. If you could sort it by teams, it'd be so much easier. I know that there are different ways of collecting. I just feel like this is the easiest way. I mean, if you're the type of seller though that has them sorted by set, I get that. I totally get that. That's that way of collecting, and that helps those um, collectors that are the set collectors. And shout out to them for that. So, but at least if you're sorted by teams, most everybody can kind of get there, and it kind of keeps the traffic at your table going, keeps the flow going. Because if somebody's there just for a specific team, or they know a certain player and they want to go check for McDavid's and their team, like for me, the Flyers, and I want to see, I want to go look at the Bedard stuff, so I want to check out some Chicago. You know, it'll help. It'll help. Those are the tables that I always stop at and go through it. The other ones, if it's just boxes random like this, yeah, I really don't stop too much. It really doesn't require too much effort once you have it. Putting them in alphabetical order, now that's a labor of love. So that I just have for myself. So I don't know. Maybe this is a good idea. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. It's an idea I've had for a while. I have had some sex. I've have had some success with this in the past. With a few people, it just, like I said, it took too much work and too much effort to kind of break the cycle of the mindset, that it's not really about getting major quality. Um, you're just essentially trading cards that are what you feel is trash to get some trash from your team, and then it's not trash anymore. So it's kind of a way to unload the stuff that you don't want and get back stuff that you do hope you can get. Because I'll tell you what, getting back if I unloaded, I think what's the one I have the most of? I think it might be who's this? It's got to be Montreal or Vancouver. Just looking at those, Calgary's another big one. But like, I can't tell you how excited I would be if I were to be able to unload. St. Louis is another one. They're like a full row. Montreal's almost Montreal's almost 2 rows. If I were to get those cards and put them in somebody's hands that's at least a collector of those teams, that would feel so good. It would feel so good getting rid of those cards and getting more back. And you can make the trade whatever it is. The only thing I would suggest is if this were to be something you do or try, or if there's enough interest in, if we have a club, the only thing I would do is you never send less than what you get, right? That would be kind of a standard rule. You can always send more if you want. That would just be a generosity thing. But the idea of the club is, like I said, this pretty simple. You just kind of established, hey, I've got X number of cards of this team, and it's your team. Do you want them, or do you have my favorite team? You never send less than what you're getting. That would be just kind of a whatever, unless the person tells you to do that. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm crazy on this idea. I do want to hear feedback. I want to hear feedback. I want to hear input from you guys. Is this a good idea? Is it a lame idea? Is it not worth the effort or the shipping? I think once you get to this point, right? Once you get to this point, it's so easy, except for when you have to put stuff in there. But honestly, it does help you go back and look for players if you need it. Just word to word, my effort or my experience speaking from that. When I do get new cards, all I do is I sit at the kitchen table, put those in alphabetical order, and then I can sit with these boxes and just pull them through and drop it in, pull them through, drop it in, pull them through, drop it in. And it's not too hard because they're already in order and you're not keeping them in, manufacturer order or anything like that. You just, drop it in, the Ryan O'Reillys, the Jake Neighbors, Jake Neighbors, then Ryan O'Reilly. And so I'm just trying to think of players off the cuff there. So you're just dropping them in as you're going, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. It's a lot less than you would think, to be honest with you. So maybe it's a dumb idea. I don't know. If this is an idea that you're interested in, or you might like to be a part of something like that, like a team lot trading club, if you're interested, if I started something like that, let me know. Like I said, I want to hear people's feedback to just this idea of either the team lot trading club part, or the idea of just team lot trading in general. Do you think it's dumb? Do you think it's a cool idea? It feels to me like it's a great way to get rid of stuff and kind of get back stuff you might want. So trust me, if these boxes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 7. If I had 7 boxes of generic Flyers cards, that would actually feel pretty good. I got to be honest, that would feel pretty good. So, and that's all just sorted by skips. Oh, real quick. Oh. The other thing, this is one of the 3 shoot cards. Yeah, this is one of the boxes, one of the 3 shoot boxes. The one thing that I haven't decided yet, and I also want feedback from you guys. The only thing not in those boxes are goalies, because I pulled all the goalies here. I put all the teams' goalie in here. So the goalies I have all alphabetically, because I feel and I know they're just goalie collectors. So I don't know what I'm doing with that. Usually when I team lot would trade with somebody, I'll tell them that. I'll say like, hey, there's no goalies in here right now. Do you want the team goalies? And then as a courtesy, I'll kind of go through here. Or sometimes I'll just say, sorry, there's no goalies in there. I've given away all the goalies, whatever. But because this is another one. If I could find somebody who's like a goalie collector who wants just goalie cards, like, they're base cards. I mean, who's this? This is, Tristan Yari. And there's some older ones in here, going back to Score and stuff like that. Who's that? Ole the goalie, Olaf Kolzig. So these guys are in alphabetical order. So I did this too. I separated out the goalies because I feel they're goalie collectors. So that's the other one. Haven't figured that part out yet. But I brought this box up. So yeah, I carried up 8 boxes, people. Eight 8 boxes for you people just to talk about this topic. So it means I love you guys. It means I want to share ideas and stuff like that. So there you go. Maybe I'm delusional, but this is something that I'm really, I'm more curious. I hope this inspires an idea in you guys. I think it'll work. But I'm curious for feedback because if it's something that people are interested in, maybe I really will start something like this. Keeping groups of teams and everybody kind of gets assigned. Um, I don't know. I don't want to get into I don't even want to think about the idea of, well, we got a lot of people that like a lot of the same teams, so that's the sticky part. But hey, if this is a takes off and a success, then we can we can have the A pool, the B pool, the C pool. We can have divisions, right? We can have the Canadian division, the U.S. division, at least to help save on shipping. That is another problem. I will say that much. That's probably why I have a ton of Vancouver, Montreal, Edmonton, that type of stuff. That's probably because then the shipping becomes a bit of a pickle. But again, this could be something that can be done in person at the expo too. So I know I did that with one person before, and oh gosh, they're escaping me right now. The name. I'm very sorry. He's a Toronto fan, if I remember correctly. So, but anyway, so yeah, give me your feedback. I really want to hear thoughts on this. So shoot me messages. Give me some, post in the channel. Give me some feedback on what you think about the idea. If you are interested in the labels, let me know. I am going to update the. I do have to update it. I'm going to change it to a new format. I will then tell you when I give you them, I'll tell you which Avery label you have to go buy, right? Which Avery label. They're just the numbers up here in the top. I'll tell you which Avery labels that you can go out and buy. And once I put them in the format, and then that's it. You just go buy these. How many sheets are in there? I don't even know. 30 sheets? No, that's 30 sheets per page. I don't remember how many are in here, but you can get a thin one like this where there's not a ton of it. You can get a big box like this if you're a dealer and a seller and you want to make sure you have them stay on there. I'll tell you which ones to get. I will fix the format a little bit to make it on these smaller ones to get more bang for your buck. The only thing I will say is the stickers of these Avery labels, they don't stick. I mean, they stick on there, but they can kind of peel up. So sometimes I took a piece of Scotch tape around the front of them. So that's just another little tip on those. But if anybody wants these labels, let me know. Happy to share them. I think they're fun. Makes it present a whole heck of a lot better. I've already given it to a few people in the past. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. And if anybody has an idea about another divider to use, this is all that I have. So I kind of thought it was everything. There probably needs to be maybe some of the PWHL teams. I can add those, but even so, once I give you this format, it's a Word document. You can then tweak it however you want it, right? So most of my stuff is actually here, international checklists, and then the team. So those are that. That's it for this portion of the. That's the big topic I want to talk about today. Yeah, I'm hoping that intrigues some of you guys. Maybe it'll inspire you. So yeah, let's move on here. So we'll wrap up. Again, I remembered because I put in my show notes, my little PC spotlight section to share some cards because I know that's what this is all about, right? We're sharing cards and going over that stuff. So let me go over some cards and share a couple things here. Some of my this is going to be fun because I'm going to have a hard time remembering if I shared these before. So this will be interesting. But so this is my high gloss. My high gloss Young Guns. Let me put my head behind here. Of Sean Couturier. Come on, get in there. My high gloss Young Guns of Sean Couturier. This was one I just got this past December. It was really cool. There was a fellow collector. There we go. That looks a little bit better. There's a fellow collector. I think it does. Who collects Couturier, and I knew he had this card. He was looking to move it, so this is one I was able to purchase from him. So this is back before they were called high gloss. They were just still UD exclusive Spectrum. That's what this one was. UD exclusive Spectrum. So that's my high gloss Young Guns of Couturier 6 of 10. This was a Expo pickup. The Lindros Spectrum 1 of 12 auto from, geez, I should have looked at that. Looks like 2021 the cup. One of my more favorite cards of his. So love the way that it looks with that foiling on the gold. So that's that one there. That's that card. And then I have, oh shoot, you know what? I forgot to look this one up. Gosh darn it. I wanted to share the pack odds because it stunned me, but it made sense. Gosh darn it. You know what? Let me, because I really, really want to find it. No, it's not gonna, it's gonna probably take too long. Um, I'll say what I think I remember it was, but no wait, no, I could find this pretty quick. 2022, 23. So on air production meeting. On air production meeting, everybody. Let's see here. I should be able to find it. Let me just see if I can pull this up. So I don't think, unfortunately, it's not a because it's Tim Hortons. I don't think it's on hockeychecklist.com just yet. But I will check a resource and see if I can find that information. Only because it was so shocking to me when I did find out how much, what the there it is. When I did find out what the print run was, does it have it in here? Yes, there we go. So this card, let me go back over to my stream. We're here. Perfect. Sorry. This card is 2022-23 Tim Hortons. It is the Wayne Gretzky, what do they call it? Achievement or exclusive. What is this? The Wayne Gretzky tribute card. And it has, what is it? A print run. There's a print run of 1,573. I saw this at my second expo, April of 2024. I saw this there, and it kind of stopped me dead in my tracks. I saw this, got this from a dealer. It was just sitting in a case, and it just spoke to me in the sense that this card reminded me of like the posters we had on our walls when we were kids, right? And I don't know, it kind of got me in the feels. I didn't care that it was a Tim Hortons. It wasn't too terribly expensive where he had it priced at, but the pack odds on this. So the print run, 1,573. I don't know what the significance of that number is. Haven't figured that out yet. But the pack odds in this card, and again, it's the Tim Hortons cards. So what is it? 3-4 cards a pack? I forget what it is really. 1 in 12,000 have this. 1 in 12,000 pack odds to pull this card. So it feels like there's a lot. 1,573 is a lot. That feels like, that number feels like the like a junk wax era, print run number, serial number, 1 of 10,000, 1 of 2,000, 1 of 5,000, right? So it feels like a high number, but the look of this card with the poster, this Wayne Gretzky tribute card from Tim Hortons in 2022-23, always appealed to me. When I saw it, I just I had to have it. So I think I got this. And I got it's downstairs. I'll show it some other time. It was the Connor McDavid in the baseball upper deck format. So it was the old 89 or 90 format or 91 had the baseball field down the side, but it was Connor McDavid card. So I bought those 2 cards in the seller. Seller told me a funny story about this, and I said, "Thank you for sharing that. I will promise I will always share that story." So he was kind of one of those really nice guy. He seemed crabby, but such a nice guy. Talking to him, he seems like the person that will like tell you stories for days. And after I bought these cards, he kept going. He was like, "Hey, by the way, I know there's stuff with food and stuff." He goes, "If you're ever walking down this aisle or whatever, stop and see me if you want a water or a Gatorade or something like that. I have some snacks. Stop here. I've got a cooler full of stuff. Stop here and see me." Like, that's really cool. So anyway, this guy told me the story. He went through a divorce. Okay. Um, the way he spoke about it, I don't know why he's divorced, but I'm kidding. But he was getting a divorce, and in the process of leaving or getting separated or whatever, leaving his house, selling his house, whatever, he left a pack of cards behind. It was one single pack of Tim Hortons. And his wife, they didn't seem to separate amicably. She was like, over my dead body, you're getting that card back. It's here, blah, blah, blah. You're not getting it. And it was just out of spite, right? Timmy's cards, they're what, $2, $3 a pack, right? $3 Canadian, $4 Canadian. So that's like 99 cents US. But so anyway, he wanted the card, or he left it in his truck. I forget what the heck it was, but he left it behind, and his wife was just being bitter and not letting him get this pack back. Anyway, he involved one of his kids who were older. I think they might have been adults. And he's like, "Hey, do me a favor. Next time you're at the house, grab that pack for me and bring it to me." He did. He opened the pack and it had this. So anyway, he sold the card. I told him, I said, that story kind of bears repeating. So anyway, there you go. There's the divorce exclusive, the Wayne Gretzky Tim Hortons tribute card. So love that one. And the last one I'll share, and I won't drone on and on and on about it, since it is the Stanley Cup Finals. But this is one. This is my. I was inspired by this card from Josh, but this is my. I won't go McDavid Young Guns, so I'm dabbling in the O-Pee-Chee. I think this is the update. Yeah, it's got a U number on it, U11, but the O-Pee-Chee Rainbow exclusive. So where's the rainbow? There you go. You can kind of see the rainbow here. Rainbow foiling of his marquee. Is it marquee rookie? Is this a marquee? Yep, marquee rookie rainbow foil from the update, PSA 10. It was a nice purchase. This was actually one. Did I get this? Sylvan. I think I got this from Sylvan. So, Lashwine. I think I made it. Yeah, I did make it. It was a trade and a purchase. I traded him a Tag 10 Young Guns Tage Thompson and some cash, and he sold me and traded for this. So playoff times. This is my dip in the toe in the McDavid pool. I don't have many Young Guns too much out of my price range, so it's very limited. I forget the pop count on this, but it's like 120. Josh, help me out there, because he has the same card. So we are card bros on this one. So yeah, that was that one. So for playoffs, Stanley Cup Finals, Connor McDavid. I won't show too many of that stuff because I don't have a lot of that stuff. So it's mostly Coots, Lindros, Gretzky. So I figured this is a good time to share and topical there. So yeah, there's my little PC spotlight. So that's it for today. I was worried if I could fill like an hour's worth of time on that topic. I probably could have done it in half the time. But I really wanted to talk about it and put some emphasis on the excitement about it. I do get excited about it. I think it's because I like the idea. So anyway, so there you go. That's today's show. Remember that you can catch new episodes here on Discord. Look for the channel Behind the Bench with the little clover emoji. Obviously, if you're watching, you found it. But remember to check back each week. We'll have new episodes will be dropped in the channel here on Tuesdays. As always, if you have any questions, ideas, or topics that you'd like for me to discuss, or please feel free to reach out to me directly here on Discord, or you can follow me on Instagram at Irish Flyers Collector. And then you can send me a DM there as well. Either way, if you have something, an idea, a topic, hit me up. We can talk about it. Um, I haven't gotten to the point where I have had people on yet, but I will eventually get there. I'm hoping to get there. So, hang on to the idea and topic if you want, but we can start to talk about those things. So, you can comment in the Behind the Bench channel on Discord for your feedback. I really, really am seeking feedback, comments, input on today's topic, the team lot trading club idea, or just the idea of trading team lots. So hit me up with some feedback on there. If you have any questions, or if you want to share your experiences about anything relating to the topic, I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your input. So thank you very, very much for taking time out of your day, out of your life, out of your week, to watch this and just listen to me go on about stuff. I hope you found some value in it. Hope you enjoyed it. My goal is that that many of you get something out of these episodes, get some sort of value that you can carry on with you along in your hobby journey. So until next time, I'm Neil, Irish Flyers collector, and you've been Behind the Bench. Take care.